Today, I ended up entering a sizable position for Tesla calls expiring in May, and my goal of this video is to explain to you why I ended up taking the position, and I want to show you why I think Tesla is going to continue to move up within the next couple of weeks. Here you're going to see the contracts that we picked up. We bought them at 10:43 a.m. and we called it out on our X account. So if you guys are not following me over on Twitter/X, you need to be following me because I throw all of these trade ideas over there for Tesla in real time for free. We ended up filling for 10 of these contracts at a price of $11.95, which is an adjusted cost of $11,950. So a sizable position, at least as far as my consideration when it comes to such a close expiration date. So what was the reason that I actually decided to take this trade? We're going to start with just a bare bones 1 hour chart. And my plan here is to show you guys the different indicators that we're going to use in order to see what's happening at this current moment. Currently, we have multiple harmonic detections that are peaking up here. We have a cipher and 2 shark patterns, which are right about 72% of the time. So this is not something that's highly accurate on Tesla specifically or in the recent time, but it's still something that we need to take into account. If we move out to the daily chart, and this is what I like to do, is look at multiple time frames here, you're going to see the same exact setup. Now this time we only have 1 cipher, and traditionally this is about 75% accurate. These harmonic patterns show up in the market when we are either hitting an absolute top or an absolute bottom. And so you can see on the daily chart, which is a very strong time frame, we also have a cipher pattern that's in play. Now, at this moment too, you might be thinking to yourself, well, what makes this difference? Each and every single time that we've been making a lower low, why would we now decide to bounce? Well, if we put our money flow index up, you're going to notice that for the past 3 times that we've made a lower low, the money flow index has actually made a higher low. This does not mean that the stock has to bounce, but it does mean that the downward trend is getting weaker. Turning on our Smart Money Concepts indicator that you guys can get access to in our Discord community, the link's in the description, you guys are going to notice here that ever since we hit this bottom, this equal low here at $160, we have skyrocketed back up. And normally when the market is moving up or moving down, it's going to move in a very consistent pattern or a very consistent way. Just take a Fibonacci retracement from that swing low at $160.35 up to this swing high here of $178, we know that there's a very high chance that it's going to pull back and bounce somewhere within this golden zone here on our Fibonacci level. So the Fibonacci golden zone is between the 0.618 and the 0.786. And all this means is that we are in a discount range. So if you're an institutional buyer, you're not going to buy at the top of an impulse. You're going to wait for a pullback into a discounted range, and hopefully you're going to buy within that discounted range, and we're going to move our way back up, which is exactly what happened. As Tesla came back down, we hit that discounted range. It did not stay in that discounted range for long, and then we moved our way back up. Well, look, we can do the same exact thing to find out when we should enter. And this is what I posted over on X, that today I called out the entry to perfection because we draw from now this swing low at 166.25 up to this swing high. And at this point now, we're looking at where to enter our position. Right about here between 173 and 174, because that's exactly where we had that pullback last time before another impulse moves its way up. Does it mean that because last time this occurred that this time it has to happen? Of course not. But in my opinion, when we have multiple bullish setups happening on a harmonic indicator, we have a really good setup here on the bigger time frame with a big divergence on the money flow, and the 1 hour is showing signs of bouncing every single time we hit our golden zone, there's no reason for me not to take this. Now, if we take a trend line tool, you guys can connect this trend support. So today, if this was going to break this trend line support, I was going to close out my position. So we ended up entering right around here, down at about 172. And my plan was to take profits around 180 to 184 short term. And then my stop loss was going to be at a lower low or break of $170. Because if we break $170 and we take this trend line out, we are most definitely going to pull back into this fair value gap and back down into our big discount zone of $160. And at that point, That's where we could say to ourselves, now on the bigger time frame, are we going to move down into lower lows, or are we going to end up bouncing? But what I really want to push you guys here each and every single day on the channel or within my private academy is that you should have no emotion to any of these trades or even any of your investments. You guys need to be pulled away each and every single day from what do you think is going to happen with the Fed? What do you think is going to happen with foreign policy and all of these other things? And in my opinion, focus heavily on the data, learning how to risk appropriately, and understanding probabilities, because that is our secret weapon within our academy, which we teach every day. I'm not the best trader in the world. This is our returns year to date, but I only have a 65% win rate. There are months, like we said back in January, where we just get the crap kicked out of us, right? We have a losing month where we were down about $35,000 and I had a 56% win rate. At the end of the day, you have to be emotionally detached. You have to understand game theory. You have to understand risk management. You have to know how to think and trade in probabilities. And my goal is to teach you how to do that. If you guys want access to all of our free resources and all of our free courses, go ahead and check them out on our website, thtcommunity.com. And I'll put all of that stuff down in the description. Thank you for all the support, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.